Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Tabuti. I'm here to talk about a few things today, but I'm going to start off with, do you remember the case regarding the 26-year-old African American named Botham Jean, who was shot and killed while he was in his apartment by a white female Dallas police officer? Well, I had been curious about what was going on with that case because I hadn't heard anything, any updates regarding that. And so I looked on the Dallas news. Amber has been back to court 2 times. Last time was January the 29th. And the judge issued a gag order, so she, her attorneys, and the prosecuting attorney cannot discuss the case in public. But I did see yesterday that the trial date is set for August 2019. But I'm on here to talk about some additional information. You remember seeing the video at the time of that police officer Amber walking up and down, pacing up and down, talking on a cell phone after the shooting. Well, a young lady, she wants to go by the name Bonnie. She was the one who filmed Amber Geiger. She went on to the Advice show, which is on YouTube, and the host name is Philip. But she talks about being harassed. She's been getting death threats, and that she lost her job in the pharmaceutical company because of this, because of filming this incident. But what's most relevant in this case, well, actually, two things, is she set up a GoFundMe for herself and she raised $30,000. And now it's being said that because she raised that $30,000, it's raised some eyebrows. But she said she needed money. She had lost her job because she stepped up to report what she had saw and heard in the aftermath of the shooting. Legal expert that's not associated with the case said there are obvious major red flags anytime a witness uses a connection to a legal proceeding as a platform to openly solicit donations. We already know where this is going. I'm going to read to you what she stated in her GoFundMe. She said, I received countless harassments. I was working for a pharmaceutical company, a loyal employee for 3 years, working my way up in the company. They decided to fire me the moment it was discovered it was me that took the video footage and assumed it helped lead the police officers to the police officer's arrest. And she goes on to say that she was called a radical and anti-police, amongst other things. And she said that the company also blacklisted her and she couldn't get another job. But on the Advice show, which was in January, Bonnie talks about filming Amber Geiger video, police intimidation, and not being safe in Dallas County. She also talks about after the shooting occurred, what she saw and heard. And she said that the media organizations didn't like that she talked to Phil on the Advice show and not to them. But she said that someone did contact her, and I think it was Dallas News, and wanted her to comment to some questions they had, but she declined. And the only thing she said was she didn't think raising the money and from the GoFundMe would hurt her ability to testify. And she said that I was brave enough to come forward with information that helped the DA charge a police officer who murdered an innocent black man in his own apartment when no one else would come forward. It originally was going to be manslaughter, but because of this additional information with the videotape and the young lady Bonnie's statement of what she heard and saw, brought it up to a charge. The grand jury charged Amber with murder. And she said what made her come forward and speak out, and she took the video and posted it on social media, where she said the next day when she read about Amber Geiger's, the police officer's account of what happened, that it contradicted what Bonnie had actually saw and heard. I want to remind everybody about the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman case. George Zimmerman raised, I don't know if he had posted the GoFundMe or others posted for him, but he raised $200,000. And in the case of Michael Brown, the police officer Darren Wilson, he also, or someone for him, raised over $200,000. So I don't know if it's different when someone is raising money for you through a GoFundMe, or if you raising money yourself makes a difference in a case. Well, I think that's crap. I think that's crap, and that has nothing to do with diminishing you as a witness if you saw something occur. On the advice show, Phil goes on to say that the media demonizes African Americans, victims of police shootings, like in the Trayvon case, how they went and pulled up his school records. Court records indicate that Amber's defense team is looking into Bonnie's background, and they have subpoenaed her employers, wanting to know her employment history, information on any terminations, and disciplinary actions. In addition, the police department looked into see if she had a record, and she did. She had 2 charges against her. Both were theft of service. One in 2012, where she was using a car sharing service, and she and the driver had words with each other, and the driver ended the car ride. Bonnie called the police. And when the police came, the police told her that she had to pay the driver. She refused, and she went to jail. And the policeman, she was told that she was charged with theft of service. So she went to jail, and she bonded out. And then another case in 2013 where she worked for Nordstrom's, and a co-worker asked her to return an item to the store, and she did so, and she received money less than $200 for returning that item. And she went to jail 8 days and had to perform community service, which she did. And way back in the day, I used to work in a department store like Macy's. And what I think they're talking about sometimes, and we were trained on this, co-workers, you work in one department or the same department, and you get either you sell an item to a person, another co-worker, family member, or friend for lesser price than what that item costs, and then you can either keep the item or you return it to the store with the receipt. The receipt would be for the full amount. Say the item costs $200. You may have paid the employee $10, $20. You return the item for the original price, $200, and so you have that money that you put in your pocket. But she must have got busted for it. What she did was wrong, but does that make her not a credible witness of this crime related with Amber? Because Amber is a police officer. Would she been a credible witness if we reverse roles and Amber was the one that was shot and killed by this black man and she was the witness? Would that have made her a credible witness irregardless of those past misdemeanor charges? And they did say that the prosecuting attorney requested Amber's records, her training records. And you remember Amber had said that she had worked long hours and she had parked, remember, on the wrong level of the apartment and went in and thought that, how did it go? Amber had said she had worked long hours, 14, 15 hours at work. She came home, she parked on the wrong parking lot level and came onto the wrong floor. She lived, I believe, below Botham Jean, and the door was ajar, and she saw a figure, and she had shouted out a command and he didn't respond, and she shot and killed him. And then the story changed that she put her key into the door, and for some unknown reason the door opened and she saw a figure, and she shouted out a command and they did not respond, so she shot him. But remember, a lot of people in the apartment complex said that the doors that they have, they're fire doors, and they automatically shut behind them. So the prosecuting attorney is also looking into, because it was some type of electronic door, that they can pull up the information as to when the time Amber put the key in the door, or whether or not she put a key in the door. Did both them come to the door? She knocked and he came to the door and opened it, or did she in fact insert the key and then proceed into his apartment? They're also saying that they're looking into, they're checking the electronic door lock on Amber's apartment to see if she had first went to her apartment and then maybe heard loud music, because that was one of the complaints. But they didn't know, the office didn't know where the complaint had come from, that he was playing loud music. They don't know if Amber came home and she was tired, went in her apartment, the music was loud. She came up to his apartment, and issue pursued between them, and she shot him. She's the only one alive, and now they're demonizing the witness. She said that she did hear the police officer saying open up, open the door, and then all she heard was him saying something like, oh my God, why did you shoot me? So, and he's dead. So Amber, and this witness that they're trying to say now is incredible. So guys, what do you think? Do you think Bonnie would not be a credible witness, or do you think this is some crap where they're working on getting the police officer off? Let me know what you think about this case. Or do you think that Botham and his family will receive justice? Do you think they had a relationship? And also, as we all remember and feel on the advice show brought up, as far as the media and the police demonizing African Americans as it relates to police shootings, remember the media, I think it was Fox News, reported that the Botham Jean had marijuana in his apartment. That was his apartment. So what? A police officer wasn't coming to his home because of possible drug-related issues. And then what about Amber? I had heard she was supposed to get toxicology exam or something, everything because of the gag order. No information is found. But what about Amber? And they're using this excuse. They're looking into her working 15 hours and being exhausted. So therefore, I've worked 16 hours many a times. Doctors, nurses, people working in residential facilities work 16 hours. That's not unusual at all. Does that say that they should also be killing people and they could get away with it? Let's reverse the roles. What if that was a black policeman coming to a white woman or a white man's apartment, and the person living in the apartment ends up dead? Also, they said that police equipment was found in his apartment. But again, we have a gag order. She's being protected. He's being demonized. And so I guess we'll find out in August what's happening. Also, his family, his mother, has filed a civil lawsuit. You all, it's not looking good. This is going to be another case, and more different than the Trayvon and the Michael Browns, and we could go on for days with all the black people or black men murdered by police. But this case is even, oh man, more upsetting because of the fact that a police officer killed someone in their own apartment, and she was off duty. You are in some other news. Attorney Michael Avenatti, who is the prosecuting attorney for the alleged victims in the R. Kelly case, he was arrested for extortion, bank, and tax fraud. It's alleged that he had threatened to expose Nike for illegal payment to student athletes. He demanded $25 million for himself and his client. And they say the client is the attorney that was the attorney for Colin Kaepernick. You know, in the football case where Colin Kaepernick took a knee opposing racial injustice and police violence against African Americans. Well, Abernathy, he's in big, big trouble. What he did was he demanded that $25 million from Nike to keep quiet and not to hold a press conference exposing Nike or paying those student athletes money. So they're saying that he could get up to 100 years if found guilty. He's being charged in New York and California. I'm really scared for these young ladies. What are they going to do in the R. Kelly case? Abernathy, he took their case on pro bono, meaning free of charge. So I'm just wondering what's going to happen in the R. Kelly's case. Will the alleged victims, and I'm saying alleged because I don't know, will they get justice? Or will R. Kelly be able to get away with this case, allegedly? We'll see. What do you guys think about this? Also, Wendy Williams. I had told you in the previous video about Wendy Williams' husband having an alleged affair. Well, they're saying for a fact that his mistress gave birth to a baby last Friday. And what they did was, Wendy them live in New Jersey, I think, but of course her TV show is filmed in New York. Her husband and his mistress, they had the baby in Philadelphia, and they said that he paid cash up front. So it's legit, and they say that Monday, Wendy Williams is aware of the fact that her husband's mistress gave birth, and Wendy Williams left the sober house that she was staying in, and they say that she was found drunk in New Jersey, and she had to be hospitalized yesterday. But because she had to return to her show, she went on to the show. I haven't seen it, but based up on reports. But if you didn't know, you wouldn't have known that she had just yesterday relapsed again and had to be hospitalized. So things aren't looking good for Wendy Williams and her husband at all. A lot of people are speculating he must have something on her because she hasn't left him yet. And so she had said on her show when she returned 2 weeks ago that if we see her, the audience, the people, because the rumors were out there, when we see her without her ring on, then we'll know that she's getting a divorce. Well, they've been showing her when she's off the show, she hasn't been wearing her ring, her wedding ring. And she puts the ring back on when she gets onto the show. So we'll see what goes on, y'all. It's not looking good. I feel sorry for her, but she's going to have to come clean with everybody because everybody knows. And again, a lot of people aren't really sympathizing with her because she still, after returning to the show, is going on with her old character, which is her job, to gossip, be judgmental about other celebrities. And she's going on with that and hasn't missed a beat, but she's still not telling her business. So we'll see. What do you guys think about this? Do you think Wendy Williams needs to leave her husband? Do you think Wendy Williams is playing the part in the relationship with her husband and the mistress? What do you think? I wish her well, but it's not looking good. And I feel sorry for their son who is away at college. And he and his friends and everyone in the school being aware of what's going on in his family. Well, that's it for today. And everybody, have a good one.